Last offseason's free agent class had not only some of the game's best starting pitchers, like Justin Verlander, Jacob deGrom, and Carlos Rodon, but also a healthy crop of cheaper but still very enticing options like Kodai Senga, Chris Bassett, Nathan Eovaldi, and Jameson Taillon. The Cubs, in need of a starter, were very involved with this middle tier of free agent starters and ended up signing Taillon, who looks like maybe the safest option out there, to a 4-year, $68 million deal on December 6th. Taillon was coming off a 2022 in which he put up a 3.91 ERA with a 3.94 fielding independent pitching in 32 starts. While he only struck out 7.7 batters per 9 innings, he did a solid enough job limiting hard contact, though he still gave up too many home runs, but he really excelled at limiting walks as well, as his 4.4 walk rate ranked in the bottom 6% league-wide. This was by all means a solid season, not quite Taillon's best, but the Cubs saw things that they could improve on. Taillon himself felt the same way, and so the signing made sense. At worst, he'd probably just repeat 2022 and be a decent, pretty dependable mid-rotation starter, and at best, the Cubs could unlock a new level of performance from Taillon, taking advantage of his great command to try to limit home runs and maybe strike more hitters out. They got to work on him pretty quick, adding a sweeper to his repertoire, which he debuted in spring training. Taillon made 5 spring starts with a 3.93 ERA and a 0.73 whip, not walking a single batter while striking out 23 in 18.1 innings, so he looked prime for a pretty good debut season in Chicago. Well, a couple of months later, Taillon has been, to put it plainly, beyond horrible. His 6.71 ERA, if it had enough innings to qualify, would be the second highest in baseball, behind the 0-11 Jordan Lyles, and his 1.55 whip would be the 4th highest. So yeah, he's been among the league's worst starting pitchers. Why? Well, his strength of limiting walks has almost completely disappeared, as his walks per 9 have doubled. He's also giving up even more home runs and just more hits in general. Not a recipe for success. There's a number of things Taillon's done differently this year than he did last year, the first being replacing his slider with a sweeper. A .316 batting average against that sweeper does jump out at you, but the exit velocity on that pitch has been low, as reflected by the 193 expected batting average against it, so that can probably be chalked up to some bad luck. Though it's worth noting there wasn't much success at all against the slider in 2022, which he has again since stopped throwing because it's a sweeper now. He's also throwing his 4-seam fastball less and his cutter and sinker more, which doesn't seem like a bad idea as the 4-seamer got smacked around last year, and that's gotten even worse this year, but now his cutter is also getting destroyed. Hitters are hitting .381 off of it with a .595 slugging. Conversely, the sinker isn't really getting anyone to swing and miss, but he's at least done a good job avoiding hard contact with it. His curveball was statistically his most effective pitch last year, and his usage of it has stayed pretty much the same, but it's getting hit harder as well. So I don't really know how much there is to it besides Taillon is just walking more guys and getting hit harder, simple as that. He's using some pitches a different amount, sure, but none of them are really working anyway, and it's also not like he's seen any notable drops in velocity or movement on anything. This leads me to hope he can turn this around and be just average through the rest of the year. He does have a 4.84 ERA in June, which is still bad but not disastrous, and if he keeps that up, at least the Cubs will have a chance when he's pitching, rather than his starts being automatic losses. I don't know really what can be done for Taillon to get his command back, but I do believe in the Cubs to get that figured out and get him somewhat back on track. I don't think anyone could have foreseen his season starting out this terribly. Let's hope in a few months we're talking instead about Jameson Taillon's great turnaround and looking forward to his 2024. Otherwise, the Cubs might be stuck with a pretty bad contract, just as the best baseball player in the world hits free agency. Oops. Let me know what you guys think. Please like and subscribe if you are new. Comment your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video.